Hello guys and welcome to my new video of why does school days suck. Now obviously this is my opinion, so if you have any other opinions after this video or you don't agree with me in any way, please be sure to drop a comment and tell me what you think of the show. I'm always open to new opinions. So apart from that guys, I just want to address that. Enjoy the video. And now let's take a look at the school days fact file. Studio TNK, release date 2007, genres harem, romance, drama and school. Number of episodes 12. So as with all my other YA's videos, I usually went into broad detail about each section of what makes the anime great. This time however, I wanted to mostly just get straight into the things I really didn't like about this anime and why I think it's a bad anime in general. Now I know a lot of other people actually really like this series because it's a psychological anime and well, it does that part really well, but what it does do too well is piss off the viewer. There's really not a lot of likeable characters in this anime for starters. They're bad, but our main protagonist Makoto is not as bad as people think. He's just your classic example of a really indecisive teenager. I actually think most of the female characters are to blame here. Yes, Makoto definitely thinks with his other head, but that doesn't mean that all the other female characters can't think with their brains and tell themselves, you know what, this might be a bad idea. As stated, I will be revealing spoilers of the show, so don't say I didn't warn you beforehand. So as this anime starts and eventually progresses a few episodes, I'm thinking to myself, this is actually a pretty great anime, very nice pacing and a great deal of character development going on with a nice romantic build up. And that's exactly what this anime is at first. No different to every other romance anime ever released. And then that mood quickly dips after Makoto's really unrealistic decision making that just makes you want to rip your hair out. I feel like I was yelling at the screen most of the time, hoping some deity out there will allow me to somehow communicate with Makoto and change his horrible choices. On top of that, we have our main female leads, Sekai, who is already a very close friend to Makoto at the start of the anime. After Makoto first sets his sights on a girl called Kotonoa, Sekai tells Makoto she will help set him up with her. But little did he know that Sekai actually has a crush on Makoto. The only character I can say I liked the most was Kotonoa, even if she turned completely insane, which I will address later. My first point is, if you have an anime with so many unlikable personalities, you aren't typically going to enjoy it. You end up just being really annoyed at the overall show direction, and you think of reasons of how you would have made those choices Makoto had to make. Another point I wanted to touch up on is something I've thought of for a very long time now. Why the hell did all of the very unimportant side female characters need to get involved? It was completely unnecessary for them to be remotely involved with Makoto. This one really annoys me because they had no real emphasis on the anime whatsoever, other than making themselves look like complete whores, which if that was the production team's goal, then they've succeeded and then some. I just wish these characters weren't so quickly included at the last few episodes. So apart from the characters, if there was one character I hated the most, it was Sekai. She is extremely manipulative and sly, and that just spells immediate danger when Makoto is as undecisive as he is. I can safely say she pissed me off the most in this anime. More spoilers now. So if you haven't seen the show, prepare your ears. There was one specific scene later on that annoyed me the most with Sekai. That scene is a part where she enters the class and loudly announces that Makoto made her pregnant. Who in the hell just loudly announces that to everyone? That's not the only stupid thing she did in the anime, and I could go on forever about why I didn't like Sekai. Now, I'm on to my final point of why I think School Days is a bad anime. That ending. Now, a lot of people actually thought the ending was the best thing about this show, but I strongly disagree with those people. Now, a quick summary of what happens in the end scene. So after Makoto returns home, Sekai witnesses Kotonoa and Makoto French kissing after Makoto finally came to the realization that he was a complete idiot, because most of his attention was on Sekai. After Sekai finds out about this ordeal, she decides to text Makoto to tell him to come over, and he does so. When entering the room, he then goes into another room and then he suddenly receives a text message from Sekai. The text message reads, "I'm sorry," and before Makoto can react, she violently stabs him to death, with bloodstains scattered everywhere. Kotonoa eventually enters the house, unaware of what happened, but then she finally sees Makoto's fresh, bloodied corpse lying there. She takes Makoto's phone and sends Sekai a text message telling her to go to the school roof. Upon entering the roof, Sekai finds a bag on the bench and hesitantly opens it. She then finds the contents to be Makoto's dismembered head. Then Kotonoa enters the fray with a knife readied in hand. A few words were exchanged between the two before Kotonoa stabs Sekai to death. To add insult to death, she wanted to find out if Sekai was really pregnant, and a few moments later she cuts Sekai's stomach open. Yep, pretty fucking insane, and that was not a good ending at all. People that say Makoto deserves to die are complete bonkers in my opinion. Yes, he was a complete asshole for the choices he made, but nothing he ever did warranted death. Just a really cheap way to end the anime, I felt. Well, there's my opinions on School Days. I hope you enjoyed this, and please tell me your thoughts and opinions about this show if you have any, and I'll see you guys in the next one.